Wanda Maximoff has been in the MCU since the end credit scene of Captain America the Winter Soldier all the way back in 2014. That is 12 years by the time this video comes out. And over those 12 years, people have asked which Marvel character suffered the most. In fact, they might have asked for longer. Well, we can't really take a deep dive into every Marvel character. So if you guessed it already, this is in defense of Wanda Maximoff. You can throw your tomatoes already because I could be biased, as yes, I am a Wanda stan. But I do like seeing both sides of an argument, so bear with me in this one. The youngest we see Wanda is when her parents are killed by a mortar shell, and Wanda spends the next 2 days after that under a bed with her twin brother, Pietro. Yeah. She then goes through Hydra experiments she voluntarily signed up for with the Mind Stone, along with Pietro, which ultimately ends up with them meeting Ultron. No. They side with him for a good chunk of Avengers Age of Ultron, but they ultimately break away when Wanda finds out their goal is going to end up causing more harm than good. Wanda and Pietro end up joining the Avengers, where not long after, Pietro gets shot multiple times. And Wanda can actually feel Pietro die. So it's no wonder she's been filled with grief from the very start, especially with her parents passing it all. But that's not all. During Captain America's Civil War, Wanda gets really close to Vision, which they end up fighting against each other when Wanda joins Team Cap and Vision joins Team Tony. Yeah, we know how that goes. Wanda gets sent to the raft and gets broke out by Steve. And she later moves all the way to Edinburgh with Vision and spend some time there, probably doing a couple stuff. They get really, really close to the point that, Big Bad Logic strikes again. When later on in the movie, she figures out the only way to stop Thanos from getting the Mind Stone is to kill Vision. Oh no! So, she does. But she's very distraught about it. No wonder, actually. Only for Thanos to rewind time with the Time Stone and kill Vision again in front of her. And she gets blipped. Now. This is a tiny little detail. But unlike the others who get blipped, Wanda's practically alone during this time. All the while, everyone else is surrounded by someone else, like how Groot was with Rocket and, others. Oh yeah, with Spider-Man was with, Tony and, they're all together. Yeah. She's with nothing but the corpse of her dead boyfriend. And we all know the way that she wants to look up. She's kind of wanting to embrace death, as with everything else going wrong for her. Because, she's really just a girl and she just wants to be with her loved ones again. Until she comes back. Yep. She gets close enough to defeat Thanos before Tony gets clapped by the stones to make sure everything is back to normal. Wanda ends up spiraling and creates a fake reality within Westview out of her grief and lives life normally for a while. She's been happier than ever, living with her robo-husband and having kids and low-key becoming besties with Agnes! Or should we say Agatha Harkness? Yeah, not so great then. Agatha Harkness exposes Wanda to her past and gets ready to rumble in the red v purple witch fight of the century. When all of a sudden, Agatha pulls out the Darkhold and starts yapping about some Scarlet Witch. Ooh, that's Wanda. The Scarlet Witch beats Agatha's ass and takes the Darkhold for herself, while returning Westview to its normal state, sacrificing her kids and her husband to do so. Yay! She comes real deep into the Darkhold and gets the buffer with Dr. Stephen Strange, because she wants the power of America Chavez in order to go to a different universe to spend time with her children again. I know a lot of people don't like the writing to this movie, but it kind of shows the extent of her grief. She's willing to do anything just to live a happy life again, but whoops! Wanda realizes that maybe this isn't the best way to deal with grief. And she ends up sacrificing herself to destroy every Darkhold in every universe so nobody gets tempted by it again. Yeah. She dies. Like a lot of other Marvel characters. She died at what I think is 35 years old. So if we think about it, that is 25 years of grief and mourning, starting from when she was just 10 years old. I feel like she just needed a better outlet for all of this, as she really has suffered. But has she suffered the most? Or does that title belong to another character? Let's compare. Natasha Romanoff, child assassin? Ooh, tough enough as shit. She didn't even know her real parents. And look at that. For most of her life, she kind of has nothing. She ultimately sacrifices herself for the Soul Stone and ends up being the subject of Clint Barton's and Yelena Belova's grief. I know that is a shorter summary than what Wanda got, but this video isn't about her. But to understand the argument of someone like Natasha or Clint or Yelena might have suffered the most, you have to understand that they still suffered. In fact, no single Marvel character suffered the most. It shouldn't be compared. They all suffered each and every moment quite differently. There is no real reason to compare them, as you can't compare trauma. They all suffered a lot. You know. There's no real way to see who suffered the most. As once again, they all suffered and it shouldn't be compared. Yes, Wanda has been through a lot, but Peter Parker has also been through a lot. Comparing trauma like this shouldn't be normalized, because in real life, if we apply some of this, you can't go up to someone who lost both of their parents and say the person who lost their only 2 kids has suffered more, because at the end of the day, they both have lost people they loved. The question may be, which characters suffered the most? But the answer really is that there's many characters that suffered to the point you can't narrow it down to one character. They all have suffered a lot. And that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Ma, I am evil zombie Wanda, and you, Hatsune Miku, you shall die. Oh no, please no. She killed her, Zach.